The Tesla Model Y has become one of the world's best-selling cars today, and due to significant price drops, it is now more accessible to people than ever before. But is the Tesla really good, and should you get it, or is it just a lot of hype? Well, today I'll be doing my honest review of my Tesla Model Y long range in order to show you all of the biggest features, complaints, and basically give you an idea of what it's been like to own this car for 6 months now. And now let's get into the review.
Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is the actual car buying experience of getting a Tesla. I remember when I put the security deposit down on the purchase, it was super easy. I did it through the phone with the associate, actually while I was driving my old car. And it wasn't like any other car dealership where there's a car salesman trying to, haggle and make a deal and try to get you to spend a little bit more money than usual. But with getting a Tesla, you just order it online, exactly like how you'd order something from Amazon or from the Apple store. What you pay is what everybody else pays. They're not going to try to give you a last minute add-on to slap onto the car price. And they're also not going to beat around the bush when it comes to the payment terms and all of that. You literally just select what you want on the website, you put down the security deposit, and within a few days, I took delivery of the Tesla. And once you guys are done paying for it, then there's going to be a time period that you might have to wait before taking delivery of your Tesla. In my case, the Tesla that I wanted was actually available at a nearby location. So literally the next day I picked up my Tesla. It was so easy. I really cannot stress this enough. I avoided so much of a headache and I saved so much time and money as a result from not having to haggle and bargain with a car salesman. I do recommend that when you guys are taking delivery of your Tesla, do a proper inspection of the Tesla. I'll leave a link down below to the checklist that I used, but you definitely want to be skeptical and you want to try to find as many things wrong with the car as possible because there are time limits, and I think as soon as you drive off the lot, you can't really do too much. So yeah, take a video, take photos of everything inside and outside of the car, and make sure that everything is good before you drive off of the lot. So having a Tesla has made my driving experience so easy, and I never have to press the brake unless I'm going in super fast, but that usually never happens. Most of the time I'm just driving with the acceleration pedal, and I also never have to look at my blind spot because this thing captures it all. So I don't have to, crank my neck to look back every time. I just have to look right here when I have my turn signals on. Later, I'll show you guys how it is driving on the freeway. It's super easy. I've taken this thing to Big Bear, 29 Palms, San Diego, and on those super long drives, I just turn on the auto steer and I don't have to steer the wheel, obviously. And then I also don't have to press on the accelerate. So it accelerates, it brakes, and because there's cameras that cover the entire 360 degrees of the car, I'm pretty much only looking at the road and I have my hand on the wheel just in case, but it does everything for me to keep me in the lane. And for those of you guys who have never driven a Tesla before, they have this thing called regenerative braking, which is basically where if you let off of the acceleration pedal, then your car is going to slow down. This is why most of the time when I'm driving, I only need to put one foot on the pedal at all times, and I don't have to keep on switching between the acceleration pedal and the brake pedal. Now, in terms of the comfortability of, actually sitting while you're driving, it's not too bad. It's like any other regular car. Obviously, it's not the most luxurious, like you're sitting in a, Range Rover with massage seats, but it's also not the worst. The only thing that I would wish for Tesla to do is to create ventilated seats in the Model Y. They've already started doing this with their newer Model 3s. So you can not only heat your seats, but also cool them down. And I know that here in California, that would be super useful because it gets really hot in the summertime. And because the seats are leather, that doesn't help. Obviously it gets a lot more hot than usual. But that's just a small complaint. You can just turn on the AC and your problem's fixed. Now, a feature that I really like about the Teslas is that if you have an iPhone, I don't know if this works if you have an Android or not, but you can actually charge your phone with these two stations that it comes with. And all you have to do is just put your phone right there and it will automatically start charging like that. So now it's charging. And not only that, but you can also do the traditional way of plugging in. So they have some USB cables. It's a little messy down here, but I have the USB-C cable plugged in and it plugs in the same way. So this is how you would charge at a normal car. And they also have some plugs in the back if you have, guests that want to charge their phones as well. Now, in terms of the navigation, if you have an iPhone and you use Apple Maps, what you could do is you can send the location that you want to drive to straight from your phone to the Tesla. So I'll show you guys an example of that right now. Okay, so I have my Apple Maps opened up. Let's say that I want to go to Irvine Park right here. I can go ahead and click on the share button. And then right here, it says I could share it with my Tesla. So I'll just click on that. It's going to say sending. And then now it's popped up onto my maps. So it's going to calculate the route. And anywhere that you navigate to, it's going to tell you the battery percentage that you're gonna arrive at, how long it's gonna take, and what time you're gonna arrive there by. So there have been a few times where the navigation has been completely wrong. It brought us to a place that was like 5 to 15 minutes away from the actual location. But that I feel like is only when you're in places where the navigation isn't as strong. Like let's say you're in the middle of nowhere, then yeah, the navigation's probably not going to be the most up to date. But if you live in like, you know, downtown LA or Orange County or somewhere where it's like pretty well known, then you're probably not going to have any issues. If you guys have not taken out a Tesla for a spin yet, it's totally free. You just sign up through their website and you can go to a location near you to test drive a Tesla. Obviously, everybody knows about the instant acceleration. So whenever there's like a slow driver and you need to overtake them, it's very easy. I'm not saying to be like an aggressive driver or anything like that, but sometimes, you know, it is annoying for people to be driving super slow and you need to go past them, right? So doing that in a Tesla is very easy. And it's not like a regular gas car where you have to wait for, you know, the gas to cycle into the engine, to the wheels for you to actually accelerate. Even with a heavy SUV like this one right here, it's the Model Y long range, it's not the performance. This thing can go 0 to 60 in Tesla Model Y long range 0 to 60.
The Tesla Model Y long range can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.8 seconds.
So there you go, less than 5 seconds, which means I beat all of the pretty much like mid-tier sports cars out there. But is that really practical? No, most of the time you're just gonna be driving pretty chill on the road. Alright guys, so since I'm here at the Supercharger, I wanted to talk a little bit about the supercharging aspect of owning a Tesla. So supercharging usually takes about 20 to even 50 minutes of supercharging. So if you're just trying to charge to 80, which is the recommended charge limit, then that's probably going to take you around 20 to 40 minutes. And I usually don't arrive at my supercharger at less than 20%. So it's usually around 20 to 25 minutes. This time it was 25 minutes. And that's because I didn't give the car enough time to actually precondition. And yeah, the way that it works is if you have lower battery, then it's actually going to be faster for you to charge to 80 compared to if you're coming in at like, let's say 60 to 70% and you're trying to charge an extra 10%. There's an analogy that Elon Musk talks about on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he basically compares it to a parking lot. So the more cars that are in a parking lot, the harder it is to find a parking spot, right? And this is basically when you're trying to charge from 70 to 80%. But if you're in an empty parking lot, or let's say you're at 20%, then it's going to be very easy for those parking spots to fill up. And the cars that are filling up the parking spots is basically the cells within the battery. But I'm not like a science expert or anything like that, so I don't know too much about it, but I'll play a clip of when Elon Musk talked about it on the Joe Rogan podcast.
You can think of it like the right analogy here is cars in a parking lot. So the lithium ions are trying to find a parking space as they move across, from one side of the battery to the other side. Just these ions are just bouncing around looking for a parking space. So when the parking lot's empty, they can zip right in there and find a spot. It's easy. As the parking lot gets full, just like trying to find a parking space at a mall, you have to hunt around for a spot. Basically what's going on is the ions are looking for a parking spot. So as the battery gets closer to full, it's harder and harder to find a spot. They have to bounce around more.
So it takes longer
Just like
to get from 80 to 100.
Correct. Getting from 80 to 100, it takes about as much time as getting from 0 to 80.
But yeah, it's really not that much of a hassle to actually charge. Most of the time, I'm charging while I'm warming up for a run, or it's on the way to a long destination. So let's say I'm trying to go to Big Bear. Then it's a good chance for my dog in the back to actually go out for a walk and take a break. And another great thing is that you don't even have to be near your Tesla to change the charge limit. So let's say I'm out somewhere and I want to change it. Right now, it's at 80%. So it's going to take 2 minutes to finish the charge right now. But let's say I'm out and I want to change it to 85% because I need a little bit more time, right? So let's go ahead and just change this by grabbing onto the bar right here and then dragging it out. You can see it's changing. And let's say I want to change it to 85%. You can see that it says 6 minutes remaining now. One thing that I want to say about the interior is that if you want to keep your Tesla clean, I recommend replacing the floor mats with all-weather floor mats. I'll leave a link down below to that. And I also recommend getting a screen protector because everything with the Tesla is on the screen. You're going to get fingerprints, dust, dog hair, and you might even accidentally scratch it. So you want to make sure that you're protecting it because again, everything in your Tesla is on the screen. Now, as far as the trunk goes, you have a lot of space, right? We have the 7-seater option. So these 2 squares right here would actually pop up and become these small little seats. They are pretty small, so it's going to be designed for obviously children. So sometimes I take my girlfriend's little sister out and also Bear. So Bear will usually have the back seat right here. And then my girlfriend's little sister will have the entire back seat to herself. Now, right here on the sides, they also have really deep pockets, so you can fit a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. And then here they also have another trunk area. So it goes pretty deep. As you can see, it's not the cleanest right now, but you can fit quite a lot of stuff in there. This is not to mention the frunk that you have, so I'll show you guys that right now. So for the frunk, you don't have too much space. So this would probably fit like, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 backpacks, but it is extra space. Honestly, most of the time I forget to use this, but just extra space that you can use for small little things. Now, in terms of other storage, you guys have already seen the storage compartment right here, but there's also another storage compartment right here as well. This thing has a bunch of random crap like receipts, napkins. I have this like air thingy where I can blow air if I see any dust, and I also keep my sunglasses in there. I also got covers for the cup holders, so I can dirty these as much as I want, and it won't ruin the original cup holders. Next, in terms of storage, they also have the glove box, so you open that through going to your settings right here. And when you open this up, there's not that much stuff in it, so I just keep some dog bags for Bear and some of the manuals that come with the car. And then right here, this is the USB that comes standard. This is where you store all of the footage when it comes to your Sentry Mode. I'm sure most of you guys already know about Sentry Mode, but that thing is so reassuring to me. Every time I step back into my car, I know exactly what happened to it while I was away. And especially as someone who had their car stolen in the past, I really like this feature because it not only keeps you reassured, but because it's so well known that Teslas have this feature, nobody wants to really mess with it. And getting the Tesla, it also comes with 2 of these Tesla cards. These are basically the car keys for the car. And so you just have to tap these on the side and it will unlock the car and it will allow you to drive. So this is pretty much the only way that someone can steal my car, but this is not going to be easy to steal from me. And even if they do and they take the car, I can always just track it through the phone app. So it is sort of dirty. I mean, I don't know. Depends on your definition of what dirty is. I've had this for 6 months now and it's really not that dirty. I think it's because of the color I chose. I didn't choose a color like white. Like I said, I've driven this thing everywhere across many different freeways. I think I've driven a little over 6,000 to 7,000 miles now. So yes, up close, obviously you can tell about all of the, bug guts and mosquito guts that are on the front. I didn't get any protective film, but if I just take this thing to a car wash right now, it'll be totally fine. But yeah, from far away, you really can't tell that it's all that dirty, even though I've driven it through mud, through sand, rocks, rain. So now that I'm parked, I want to show you guys another cool feature, which is the fact that it will auto lock behind you. And this is through your phone being the key. So if I have my phone on me and it's connected through Bluetooth, then if I walk away, then it's automatically going to not only lock the Tesla, but also make sure that all the windows are rolled up. So let me just show you guys an example right now. I'll roll down the window. So now I have the window fully rolled down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close this door. I'm going to walk away and you guys are going to see that it's going to chime. So I'll close it. I'm going to start to walk away and you guys are going to hear a chime and then the Tesla window is going to close on its own. So I'm going to keep walking away. Sometimes it takes a second. You get it? Now, right now we have this thing set up for Bear to actually sit in there without damaging the seats. I'll leave a link down below to this thing that you can buy. It's like $30 to $40, but it's been amazing. You just clip it to itself and then you just hang it over the actual seat. So like that. And then now the seats are protected and there's a little on-ramp right here for Bear to go on and then sit. So all of his fur, all of the dirt from his feet are going to be on here instead of on the seats. So in terms of maintenance costs of owning this car, I haven't paid anything besides obviously the car loan and the insurance. But thankfully, nothing has been wrong with my Tesla so far where I needed to take it in for service. I know I've heard some things about the Model X and also the Cybertruck having some issues. But yeah, I feel like this car is perfect for you if you're a person that likes SUVs. So let's say you want to go camping or you like taking your dog or just a lot of family members, then it probably wouldn't make sense to get a sedan like a Model 3. And with the Model Y long range, you're also getting the all-wheel drive. So I believe the standard Model Y is rear wheel drive. This thing can go around, I think, 330 miles on a full charge. I also got the tow hitch edition, but I have yet to use that. I do plan on getting some bikes in the future and taking that out for a spin. So I will be getting the bike rack probably, and maybe even something to hold stuff like snowboards or surfboards. So later on this year, I'll probably do another update to show you guys the updated costs when it comes to paying for supercharging. So overall, would I recommend the Tesla Model Y long range as a first-time EV owner? Yeah, I mean, I have zero complaints so far. This is actually something that I was struggling to justify the purchase with, because it isn't the cheapest car on the market, but it has made my driving experience so easy. I'm a man of practicality. I hate things that require a lot of maintenance and a lot of effort and brain power on my end. So getting a Tesla has been one of the best purchases I've made in the past 6 months. And yeah, I'd say that if you're in between getting a Tesla or something else, I highly recommend getting the Tesla. Life is short, and you can always make money and you can always live in your Tesla if you end up going broke because of it. Just sell your house, sell everything, and just live in your Tesla if you really need to. But yeah, jokes aside, I highly recommend the Tesla. And again, I'll leave links down below to everything that we've talked about. So the all-weather floor mats, I highly recommend. The screen protector, the seat covers in the back for if you have a dog, the cup holder covers, and my referral link so that you guys can get 6 months of free supercharging. This channel is going to be a bunch of reviews, a bunch of odd videos about different things in my life, as well as some vlogs here and there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.